Is it not showing up for you?
All right, Danielle.
The meeting tonight is for the conduct of town business by the town board. The public is invited to participate in the items marked on the agenda public comment. During that segment of the meeting, if you have a question or comment for the supervisor, please raise your hand and make your name known. Please state your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
Thank you. Did, Danielle, before we begin, did Chris send you the abstract? 'Cause I did not get it. You don't have a printout? That's not good. Let's rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all the men and women who sacrificed their lives to allow us to serve our country and our town. Thank you. Yeah, I signed everything and went through everything yesterday, but she was supposed to send it electronically, and she did not. See if you could get a hold of her. I'm going to move forward the agenda. So I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Need a second.
Second. Sorry, I
All in
wasn't
favor?
listening. Aye.
Aye, so moved. Motion to approve the minutes from the March 10th, 2025 Town Board meeting.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from the town board meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye, so moved. Approve the minutes from the March 10th, 2025 public hearing.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from the March 10th public hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. We're gonna skip over 5 right now because I want to have the exact amount, but supervisor updates. I did actually write something this time. And I had to send it to, I sent it to Danielle, but I'm gonna bring it up here. So this will buy some time. We need the sheet, so. No, I got it. I got it. All right, so supervisor's report for 3/24/25. We continued EMS funding discussion with supervisors and mayors at my monthly meeting this about a week and a half ago now. So there's the resolution that we passed for the county resolution 102 to fund EMS services for the municipalities and cities of the county is a $5 million resolution. We had a meeting where a lot of the supervisors, obviously every town in the city was in agreement that they should do this. Everett from emergency management came. He's actually in disagreement of this because he's in favor of a bigger picture of getting communities to come together, 4 different segments or maybe 5 different segments of the community of the county to form smaller districts for EMS services. But a lot of the supervisors pushed back on this and said you could do both things at the same time. You could also start helping us out until you actually physically have a plan in place. I know there was another meeting that was going to be held with the sponsor of the bill this past week, and some of that funding can get reduced because they're arguing about how the calculation is being allocated for the money. They were using a calculation of population and what was the other one? Oh, I'm sorry. It was based on population and I think the services that you provided to your community. But the problem was a lot of communities don't have EMS service. So they were going to be left out in the cold and get nothing. So, and those are probably the ones that need it, probably even the most. So anyway, we'll find more out about that in the coming weeks. It's going to go back up to the county for a vote, and hopefully they pass some EMS service help for the communities in the county. So Spectrum, as we've been talking about for a while, so we're moving the town hall of Spectrum from Crown Castle. Most of the town hall, the police, and the court has been converted off of Spectrum. We're still testing the Crown Castle signals and circuits and making sure they all work before we totally shut off Spectrum. And at the same time, ITC phone company that we use throughout the town is going to be upgrading their phone systems for us. And Danny's working directly with them from our IT department to get that completed. Dog park repairs, I want to thank Gail and Dave for taking this on. We had a complaint that there were some issues at the dog park. I know Gail went up there within a couple of days, right, and got the fences and everything fixed. And I know Dave's going to be doing a lot of work around to keep it clean. And we got a hold of Riley to make sure the garbage is being dumped. Moving forward on the EV charging stations, right now they did approve 2 charging stations based on the calculations for the park. One would be by the basketball courts, one would be up front on 9W. We have an assigned rep from Linkwell, it's Michael Sticko. He's working on all the approvals right now, the infrastructure work with Central Hudson, permits, and then of course the funding end of it. Obviously he knows we're not going to be moving forward unless it's totally funded through grants. Talking about grants, we received notification this week from DASNIA that our 2 state grants that I applied for are in the approval process, and we should be getting a disbursement agreement in the next couple of weeks. And that's the grant 27775 from Senator Hinchy, which is $200,000, and 28041, which is Assemblyman Jacobson's $250,000 grant, and these are both for the highway renovation upgrade. So that's a total of $450,000 from our senator and our assemblyman, so we thank them. I want to thank Deputy Superintendent Gary Lazaroff, because he's working with Margot for preparing to install the apples in the designated areas around the town for the apple parade. You're going to start seeing through the town apples that were designed and purchased through Margot, and they're going to have, we had a meeting, Dave, right, and Gail, about them raffling some of these off at one of their fundraisers. So I think it's a really cool idea. Gary already tested the auger up at the park, and he was able to drive it in the ground with no problem. So thanks to Gary. Central Hudson is going to be doing a major TP gas line replacement project throughout the town. Supposed to start April 1st of this year. It's about 1.99 miles of new 10-inch gas line through the town, through 9W, up Milton Turnpike, and then approximately then through the Youngs Park Field. Right? You're not going to like that.
I don't like that. I don't like several things about it. The first one being that this news was out and around town before this board had any information on it, which, you know, puts us in a bad situation when residents have questions, especially when they're planning to dig through the entire baseball field, softball field, really, in the middle of the season. So it created a lot of drama, I would say, around town that was probably not necessary had it been handled in a different way.
Yep.
So that's the first thing. But the second thing is we definitely need a more detailed timeline of a project of this magnitude as to what's being done when, because that has a big impact to the community.
We're definitely going to get a better time frame. The only thing I will say is it's Central Hudson's land, so we can't technically tell them they can't do it, but they're pretty good. I mean, Corey's our representative. He's very good. He knows the timeline. I told him baseball season runs all the way through fall. So, again, April 1st is the start date. They're not starting there, as far as I know.
No, I'm sure it'll be in phases.
I hope that's not where they're starting.
Let's hope.
So, we'll get a better time frame. So, yeah, I will update you as soon as I get something from him. Good news, we finally received our pay rec number 3 reimbursement of $405,863.37 from the LWRP State Grant Project C1002023 on March 13th. That's about 75% of the funding we got back so far from the grant, and then I submitted payment rec number 4 now, and that's $93,601.14. So we're getting close to the end for final payment and closeout on this grant. I had a meeting last week with everybody involved, and we're almost to the end to finalize this. And then we got to work on the east side of the tracks. The Highway Department project is moving along, and the substantial completion date is April 30th, just so everybody knows. It should be done by then. And I just threw a couple pictures here together, just you guys want to see it here. So obviously the outside is coming along, it's all uniform now. The interior sheetrock's going up. Bathrooms are all sheetrocked, and they're going to start tiling. This is the addition in the back that no one could actually see. This is the 2-bay garage that was built. Again, there's tape and spackling, paint. The heating unit's got to go in. This is the ambulance. It's going to be the ambulance room when it's complete. And then they poured the foundation that goes, the walking path in the front of the building this past week, and the stone is going up. So obviously you could start to see that it's going to start looking like the community center.
Yeah.
It's the exact same exterior color and the exact same stonework that's being applied. So just to give you some idea as we're going forward. So
It looks great.
yeah, it looks
does.
good. It's going to come out really good. And I want to really thank John and the guys, because they've been doing a lot of work themselves internally to move the project along as quickly as possible, and they also done extra work themselves. So, just want to thank them for everything they've done. And now let's go back to authorized payment of bills. Where is my final number? I'm not seeing it. Danielle, why come I'm not seeing the final number here?
Ask her, 'cause she totals it differently now too.
She got this new program and I can't stand it.
Yeah, we I think you have to add to it. I'm not sure which one's there. It's not that obvious.
I want to say it's 201,379. I believe that's the number, but. All right. We'll get back to that. Do we have any presentations tonight? Anybody have any comments on the agenda? None being said. Reports of committees. You want to speak about the rec committee?
I can speak about the rec committee. I can actually speak about the marketing committee also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So the marketing committee met the beginning of the month on March 4th, and we had 3 participants in the meeting plus myself, so 4 people in total, and then another 4 expressed interest and are hoping to come to a future meeting. So not a bad turnout for our first gathering. The committee discussed several goals that they'd like to achieve throughout their work. Number 1 being to promote Marlborough to new businesses strategically, creating some marketing assets to use in that promotion for the town, and then also looking at how we can promote the businesses that we already have within the town. So there's a whole list of ideas that the committee came up with and will be pursuing in future months, including hosting informational series on how to start a new business in town, how to better work with the planning board to make that process easier, marketing of existing businesses, especially in light of the cruise ships that are now docking in Milton, and how we can better promote the town to those people coming in. There was a lot of talk about a better calendar of events, which I know came up in one of our previous board meetings, so I think that's a good one for this committee to take on. They talked about better hamlet signage to promote new business, and then again, doing some bigger projects with creating some Town of Marlborough marketing collateral to put out there strategically to businesses that we want to attract now that we have so many new rooftops coming into the town. So next order of business is to prioritize those projects and decide which ones they want to tackle first, and hopefully we'll be meeting again next week. Yes, yes. And then the Recreation Committee also met a week ago, Dave? When did we meet? Yeah. We met last week. Next order of business for the Rec Committee, of course, is the Easter egg hunt, which is on Saturday right before Easter. It's the 19th, so that's taking place at the Dome. That's a fast and furious event, so just a reminder to the community to make sure that they get there on time. There will be about 30 minutes of activity before the actual dash where they get the eggs, but that goes pretty quickly. But it's going to be a nice event. We have a DJ lined up. Obviously, the Easter Bunny will be there for pictures, and it'll be a lot of fun. And Tina ordered us a lot more eggs this year, which we already had a lot of eggs, so this is an excessive amount of eggs. So it should be a lot of fun. Then we have, do you have the date of the spring fling on handy? Can you look that up? The next event is the Spring Fling that the Rec Committee is putting on. This is a new event this year. It's a fundraiser that's going to be held at Bricks, and it raises funds for the flowers that the Rec Committee has taken over planting in the hamlet of Marlborough.
April 30th?
I think it's April 30th.
30th.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, April 30th at Bricks is that one. Following that is the Memorial Day Parade, which the Rec Committee is partnering with the Highway Department and the American Legion to deliver for a second year. This year the parade is on the Marlborough side, so it'll take off from the Marlborough High School and come down through the hamlet and end at the elementary school. There's an application online, a sign-up form for anyone that wants to participate in the parade. That's marchers or a float. And it is a little bit firm with the deadline, just we had an issue with that last year, so just reiterating that you do have to sign up by the deadline because there's a whole art and science that goes into creating the order for that parade. So you can find that on our Facebook page, the Town of Marlborough Facebook page. It's in the Marlborough Milton Moms and Dads group. It's all over the internet for anybody that's looking to access it. And that parade is on Sunday, May 25th this year. So once that's all done,
What else you got? You got a lot of stuff.
a lot of things. Then we'll swing into the concerts in the park.
Yep.
So the concerts are lined up and all ready to go, and we have a great lineup of bands this year. Slightly different format this year in terms of dates. So the first Friday in July is July 4th, so we will not be having a concert that day. The concerts are going to kick off actually on Friday, July 11th, so a little bit later. And then we'll go the July 11th, the 18th, the 25th, and August 1st will be the last one. I have those dates right? You're checking me? You're checking me as I go? The final concert will have the big fireworks display this year. So the fireworks will be at the end, and it will be a larger, more impressive fireworks display than the past. So we're very excited.
The price it better.
It's going to be great.
Thank you.
What else? Any questions?
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, like our rec committee, I just want to say, newspaper, please write up a good article for our rec committee because they do a lot of work and they do a lot of advertising, but, put it in the paper is also helpful for us. We want to have these events. We want as many people to participate as possible. And, we have a large recreational group now. And I love the idea they put out there on the Facebook page. If you go on Marlborough Recreational Facebook page, they have a little survey. They're asking for input on different things that the community might want to have. And I like that they're doing that, and they're actually asking not just their committee members, but the community as a whole to see what things they would like to have done. So I think that was a great idea. So
Yeah, that's
Like it,
great.
and I love this Economic Development Committee. You know, so that's good because we haven't had that in many, many years. So, you know, Meet Me in Marlborough does a great job of what they do, but the town itself needs to also promote itself and help its businesses out as much as possible. So,
Yes.
great job.
Awesome.
Yeah, good job.
All right.
Sounds great.
Been a busy month.
It has been a busy month. Every month seems busy. As long as you're doing your job, it's
Yep.
always busy.
Yep.
So now we could go back to authorized payment of bills of $205,737.56, which I thought that's what it was.
I make a motion to authorize the payment of bills.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Thank you. And thank you, Danielle. Okay. Anybody have any new business? Anybody?
Me.
Yeah, I do, Scott.
All right. Speak up for everyone.
So Friday, this past Friday, I met with Gary and John
Yep.
and another gentleman at the park to review the sites for the pickleball courts that we have slated to begin this year. And the new site that they propose, it's a wonderful site. I think it's a good option one. But this is by where they burn the flag all the way down at the other, I would say
By the pavilion.
yeah, by the pavilion.
It's where that row
flat
of
area.
tires are along the pond.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Oh.
And we staked it. There's 4 huge stakes there, okay? My only reservation having it there, I think it's a great spot. My only reservation having there is that when we have festivals, the bounty festivals, flea markets, all the vendors, they post their tents there. And that's my only reservation. It takes away from that, that piece of real estate right there for them to post all those tents when we do have these festivals. Option number 2 is that we could go right next to the court, the basketball court right now, and that instead of having 4 courts, we could have 3 courts there and will fit nicely there if there's any reservation over there where about the fire pit, I'm going to call it down there. If there's any reservation there, we could fit 3 courts there. And that's option number
Which
2.
side, we're on the basketball court now, because he's changed it on me 3 times. Like, by the basketball court, we're behind it, to the side?
Behind it.
Behind it.
Right. Right now, we need a footprint of 60 by 120 to get the 4 courts. We don't have that. We don't have that.
You would have to relocate the basketball court in order to put the 4 pickleball courts there, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's option number 2,
Oh.
go with 3 courts. Option number 3, okay, is to do it correctly. Right now, if you see the basketball court, it's at its last leg. You have tar splits, you got dips. I mean, it's been there a good 25 years. It needs a new reface soon, or else you could definitely cause some injuries there. The blacktop, you got pitch, it's twist ankles. I mean, it has maybe a year, maybe 2 left. I don't know what's in the budget. I know it's around 300,000. I look at it, but I don't think it's all for this. But so option number 1 is by the fire pit with that reservation, as I stated. Option number 2 is going next to the basketball court with 3 courts, or option number 3 is to do it correctly. Just take everything down, level out that field, and make a really nice deluxe basketball, pickleball court, make it with nice walkways going in there. And I think that, you know, the three options that we have on hand that we should really think about and toss it around and come up with the vote.
We also got to think about parking, right? And that's, I think, an issue with, by the basketball courts in a way. That's why we, you know, they were, part of the reason going to the other spot because it's level, right?
Oh, listen,
And the cost effect, remember, you think $100,000 is what we have for pickleball courts. You think it goes a long way, but it doesn't really go a long way. So like up by the basketball court, to do option number 3 would be probably 3 times what we have in our budget right now, which I understand, I 100% agree, the basketball court eventually's got to get done. Even option 2, you got to bring a lot of fill, there's a lot of excavation work. And again, up at that location, there's not enough parking. So if you have basketball going on, and then you had pickleball court going on, and I think there's 2 totally different age groups of people, I would say, that would be utilizing that area.
Is
And they
this,
may
is
not-
this
You'd
something
be surprised.
Is
They may not want to mix.
It has no, pickleball has no
by the
age.
rec center? There's that whole flat area there that I was pegging for an ice skating rink, but, you know, I could compromise.
Which, to the side, though,
To
that's
the
a main
side.
gas line there,
Okay,
you can't go there.
okay.
Yeah.
You're saying I'm
Central
not
Hudson
getting my
again.
ice skating rink either?
That's that's the gas line is on the left side of the south side of the community center.
Yeah.
I guess you could put it back.
You're not going to have any parking. So not this past week, as we come forward with one, I was at the park. From the gate, all the way around the other gate, you couldn't move a car through. You couldn't even get anybody in the park. Because there was so many people at the playground and at the basketball.
Yeah, that's right, my
You were
point.
there,
There's not enough
20,
parking
30,
there.
well, 4 courts, let's say 20 people. With an additional 10 cars, and say they double up. I don't think you have enough room to park the cars there at all. You don't have enough room to park the cars with the playground and the basketball court around. That basketball court puts 30 cars there easily.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chief, and I
No
think,
way you're gonna fit them in.
I think also when I went up there with John and Gary too, up on the, as you come in the park and you go to the main parking up on the hill, we do actually own quite a bit more property into that hillside and to the right side of the
Yeah,
driveway.
that was,
And so there's options to put spots there for parking, and then you could walk down the pathway right to the pickleball courts, right? Because there's a pathway right there. So from a parking perspective too, I think it makes sense. Now, I totally understand what you're saying too. With other events, we may limit.
that's my
what
only
can go over
reservation.
there.
I think that
But-
having pickleball there is like la creme of la creme because nice water view, nice scenery. I mean, it's like the Cadillac of pickleballs will be. But
You're going to be
my
right on the
resi-
water. You couldn't get any.
you know, looking at that, my only reservation is that, hey, if we hold festival events,
Yeah.
I just know that that whole area right there is where the vendors pitch their tent, and I just don't want to, minimize.
Some of them,
that.
I mean, most of the vendors actually do put up their tents along the main road, up to the grandstand, and then up the side. Only sometimes do they go in there when, like, the big thing they have is they have that big slide in there, right? They do the slide, and then on the corner part, once in a while you have, like, we had, like, the big event where we had the helicopter come in.
Right. But what everybody fails to understand is we don't go
Or
outside.
what we could do,
We have a giant soccer field that can house the entire Bounty Festival if they decide.
Oh, yeah, they could put it all up there if they wanted.
There's plenty of room on the park.
I mean, my personal
Bounty Festival
opinion is to
goes
put
the
it
other
down
way.
by there,
They can
so
spread it out that way.
cost-wise, it'd be the best and
I
parking.
just think that limiting.
Because then we
where
could
we
afford
this
to put the
pickleball
parking in.
court Because of one or maybe 2 events.
I
that
said,
might
to
not
put it
happen
down by the
is
pavilion is
silly
the best cost-effective solution. Yeah, I mean, I just think going down by the pavilion area is probably the best cost-effective solution. From what we have budgeted and what we have to do, and then actually put some additional parking along the road, I think it makes more sense, and it won't congest that upper area, which is the main entrance to the park. That's my opinion. I mean, everybody else could.
My solution to that was, what I was thinking is that when we put the fence all around it, instead of having a single fence, maybe we put a double gated fence that it always could be used to maybe letting people go in there, or maybe, I don't know if we want to pitch anything or use that, but it's just, it's staked out. And so, take a look at it. It's a big chunk of land. I mean, so I love it. I love it having there. But again, I don't want to be selfish and saying, hey, look, to do this and then minimize it for other, events that we could have there, or for other categories. I don't want to minimize that. So that's where I'm at. So,
I mean, do you want to make a decision tonight? Because we got, the bottom line is we got to move on this, like, pretty quick. And the other thing of having it down there, it's out of the way of, like, you don't have to shut down the basketball courts. You don't have to, shut down a lot of area where people are going to be coming
During
in for the
construction, you mean?
playground, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like off by itself, and they can work on that, and it's not going to disturb anybody.
Well, I agree with what Manny is saying. I mean, it would be ideal to put it up on top.
Of course.
But I think the cost is probably a lot more. Just speaking to the highway superintendent, we sat down the other night, and he was telling me the whole thing with the meeting and whatnot. And he agrees with you, Manny, but he also agrees that it's probably a lot more money to do it up on top, because he said there'd be a lot of fill that had to be brought in to level it up and whatnot. Does that sound right? I don't know.
We definitely got to bring them.
the thing is that, I mean,
Then we're gonna have
ideally,
to
we'd like
catch 'em
to,
all.
because it could, if we ever have, like what Bocce does, have like league games and stuff like that, ideally having 4 courts works out the best if we evolve to that. But if we have it at top, from my point of view, instead of having 4 courts, go to 3 courts. But again, then it comes down to parking, that there's not enough parking.
That's what John had mentioned also, parking.
So that's
would be an issue.
Can we make parking? I mean, so to me,
I think if you put it over by the fire pit where you described, you probably already have ample parking right up on top on a regular day. Now, if you're going to have an event, like you said, those people are going to be out of luck, I guess, for that day.
well, what it is when you're coming around the bend, when you're coming down, coming around the bend, we own some land to the right of that.
we own a bunch
So
of-
they're going to clear all that land up right
Okay.
there, and they're going to put a parking area right there.
Oh, is that what you said?
That's what
Yeah.
they want. That's what they're
That's why if
thinking
we
of.
do it there, we'll have the money to do that, because
Yeah, that makes sense.
we'll probably be able to do it because of the cost. We're already on flat ground, right?
Well, basically, it's not flat, but yeah.
Yeah, for the most part. So, I mean, I'm going to say that I'll make a motion that we put it down in front of the parking lot that's up on the upper hill across from the pavilion.
Yeah, I think
And
that
that would be 3 or 4 courts.
4 courts.
4 courts.
4 course.
You got the room there.
Yeah, it's 4 course. We staked it out. 4 courses, it's
We'll have
perfect.
to make it 3. So,
Yeah, I get
it
it.
all depends, but we have options there. So, I think that's the best economic way to go for our budget. If we had an unlimited budget, which we don't, I think the upper part would be great, but considering what we have, I think we.
I like that site, so
Yeah.
I'll
All
second
right.
your motion there, Scott.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, let's move on to what council member has now.
I'm just thinking ahead. My item goes back to Central Hudson and this whole fiasco with digging up the softball field. And if that happens and we have no control over the timeline of it, it puts your softball teams out of a field and all of our rookies teams out of a field to use for who knows how long.
That's what I was asking.
So that's what I was getting at here is I think this may be the kick in the butt that we need to
Use the upper
finally
fields.
get those upper fields in playable
Yeah.
condition, which I think we were just stuck on the extending the backstop and putting some fencing along the higher fencing along the woods side. I know you had talked about dugouts, but I think that's probably more than we need to be functional.
No, we just need a bigger backstop.
We just need a bigger backstop and I think some fencing, but I think that we should think about doing that, knowing that this might kick us off of our fields.
You went up, I'm pretty sure Gary, he had gotten the post things for the fence. He just never did it.
Okay.
So we might want to talk to him, but I'm pretty sure he's got those posts for the overhang, if we wanted to make an overhang on those backstops. But I think it's a good idea. I mean, I'm also going to, once we see what they're really going to do, I'm also going to see if maybe Central Hudson could do something for us while they're there, like put some lights on the field. We'll see.
Be great.
At least one pole on the
Yeah.
other side, because I
Yeah.
think we could definitely put a set of lights on the one pole we have there.
Yeah, and that site for the pickleball has 2 poles there. It would be
Oh,
great.
yeah, that's a perfect spot too for that, because we can put light on it pretty easy there. But yeah, so, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think you guys should definitely just start looking at that field,
Yeah.
the 2 fields. Because, again, they're gonna probably start April 1st. Where they're gonna start, I'm assuming it's gonna be on the south end, coming north. From what it reads, that's how it kind of reads. And Corey's gonna try to get me a better date of when they're gonna get to that area. Maybe they could get there early and get it out of the way. I don't know, but we'll find out. So, yeah,
Okay.
all right. Anybody else? Dave, you're good? Eddie? Oh,
I'm good.
Eddie's not here. All right, then let's move on. Open board discussion, I think we just had that, so. Correspondence, I got a few. Okay, Supervisor Corker, members of the town board, the Marlborough Town PBA is requesting the use of the town community room April 26, 2025. We intend to use the room for a fundraising event to assist past members with the purchase of a wheelchair and our ongoing community support. Please feel free to contact me if any question. Bruce Griffin. I don't have a problem with that. I think we already looked it up. So I'll make a motion to allow the PBA to use the community center on 4/26 for a fundraising event for the community.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. All right, hello, I am a director of the nonprofit Daughters of Sarah, a subordinate group under the nonprofit Faith Church of God. We reside in Marlborough, New York, and our EIN number is, I won't read it. I have been told that since our group is a nonprofit, there is no charge to rent the Milton train station community room on May 10th of this year. On this date, we wish to use the room to run a tea party to raise funds for unprivileged women and children. The benefit of this is to allow women and would normally not have had the experience before to have a few hours of enjoyment to celebrate themselves as mothers. As the date is just before Mother's Day, we specifically address the audience of mothers who live in hotels, motels, and who are homeless. The donation we receive will go towards food purchases and the expense of sending unprivileged kids to summer camp. We call it Unity. We offer this camp to unprivileged kids from the Mid-Hudson region, New York, of the counties of Ulster, Dutchess, Greene, Orange, and Sullivan, to children of hotels and motels in rural, poor, and inner city. I have enclosed our EIN letter for your information. Feel free to call me and any questions regarding this nonprofit for our program. And she got her cell number here. Hope that we may be allowed to hold our tea party at the Milton Train Station Community Room with the nonprofit benefit we offer. Thank you in advance for your time of this matter. Sincerely, Barbara Kowalski, Director of Daughters of Sarah, and Ruth Faircloth, President of Daughters of Sarah. Doesn't tell me where they're out of, but Danielle, did we look at this date was available, being that it's right before Mother's Day?
I didn't, but I know it's expensive.
That's May 10th. They didn't give a time, but it just says May 10th.
Yeah, it is available.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't have an issue.
I don't have an issue.
I
I'll
don't know
make a
anything.
motion to allow them to use the community center with no charge for a nonprofit.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
so moved. All right, that's it for that. Anybody got public comments? No public comments. Resolutions, I have none. Surprise, surprise. And Manny, we're at number 15. You
Oh.
can take this one.
Okay, it's 7:41. I make a motion to adjourn.
Need a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Thanks, everybody.